And Joe said, okay. You have to tell me for, she said she got it. So, should you be on there now?
Yep.
Kenny said he got it. Okay, so. Okay. Well, that's my little thing work here. It's not handy. So, should you be on there now? Kenny said he got it.
No, you don't turn it on yet. Oh. Okay.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, it's muted.
I don't know, but I can hear it. I can see Wes.
There's a button on the bottom. You have to click turn your camera on.
Oh, we have to have it on.
There you go. Justin, you need a shower. You look sweaty.
We are hot and outside. I don't know, but I can hear it.
It's on YouTube too.
I can see Wes.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Oh, Lord. We should probably get somewhere where we can. There's Kenny.
I see you. Oh man.
It's a good look, Joe.
Hey, what's going on? Y'all joining the meeting?
Yes.
Walk.
Cool.
I guess that's why we have an echo, because Kenny and Joe are too close together.
Or someone's watching on YouTube.
It's on the other side.
I'm sitting over here.
All right.
Hold on.
I can't see nobody else, so. Oh, yeah.
You.
You hold it. Turn it on. Bring up the agenda.
I wonder why it's not syncing up. Whatever I did, it didn't like it. Oh, whoa.
What was that, Wes?
Whatever I did with my phone over here, it didn't like it because it didn't go back to the YouTube.
Oh,
link. Okay. We got Sandra and Bo and Christine and myself. Justin sent me a text. He's not going to be able to make it. He's got company. I sent Doug the link. He told me yesterday he didn't have very good internet, so he may not be able to make it.
Hi, everyone.
Howdy, howdy. Why is everybody in their bedroom?
Do you want me to go in where the yard?
I'm in my recliner.
Oh, well,
I'm
Quit
at my poker
scoping
table.
out behind me.
I'm at the poker table. It's too hot in there.
I'm at the bar. All right, Daddy.
okay. I won't, unless it gets out of hand, I won't mute everybody and have to try to manage all that, but we can, try to be civil as we go through this. It should be okay, I would hope. And hopefully this don't take too long. No, not yet. Do you know how to start it?
See you, Joe.
I guess it's a good thing I don't have my headset because you wouldn't hear nothing then. Oh, I got to record it. Record.
Mute yours.
Okay. Okay, we're live on YouTube and we're recording, so keep it civil, folks.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple. If you haven't heard, Doug broke down in Tennessee and he told me this afternoon it's probably going to be next week before he makes it home.
Oh, mercy.
Apparently he pumped sludge into his fuel tank and it didn't like that at all.
Mm.
Should have bought a Dodge.
Yeah, I thought it was just because it's a Ford.
That's its biggest problem.
Is it running? Okay. One more minute and a half, 30 seconds. We had another person that wanted to attend, but he hadn't made it yet, so that's all right too.
He just texted and said, give him a minute.
Who's that, Joe?
Yeah.
Is he your real estate agent?
Yes, he is.
Okay, good. You don't really need him. All right, let's get started. Call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock, Tuesday, July 14th. Special meet, our regular call meeting for the Lonoke City Council. In accordance with section 418.016 of the Texas Government Code, on March 16, 2020, Governor Abbott has suspended some provisions of the Open Meetings Act in response to the COVID-19 emergency. Lonoke City Council meetings will not be open to on-site visitors, although I am here with the door open if somebody wanted to come in. Abbott suspended certain open meeting statutes to facilitate social distancing in public meeting. The governor has carved out certain provisions within the suspended statutes to maintain government transparency and continue government operations while reducing face-to-face contact. In the interim, city council meeting will be available through YouTube. From your computer or smartphone, to join the meeting, go to YouTube and enter City of Lonoke, Texas open meeting. Subscribe, share, and like. Sorry, that's a YouTube thing. Also, pursuant to section 55 or 551.127 of the Texas Government Code, for this meeting at the stated location, a quorum of the city council will be physically present, and this notice specifies the intent to have a quorum present there. The member of the city council presiding over the meeting will be physically present at the above location. One or more members of the council may participate in this meeting remotely, and if so, video conference equipment providing two-way audio and video display and communication with each member who is participating by video conference call will be made available. The video and audio feed of the video conferencing equipment can be viewed and heard by the public at the address posted above as the location of the meeting. However, due to concerns with limited internet bandwidth, it is highly recommended. If you would like to provide input on the agenda, please send an email to the city secretary by 5 p.m. of the day of the meeting. The mayor will read any comment. We didn't get any of those. Okay. Call the meeting to order. Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to disappear for a minute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
Of America.
of the republic for which it stands,
For which it stands.
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
All right. Roll call and certification of a quorum. Bo,
Here.
Sandra.
Here.
Christine.
Here.
Doug Williams is absent. Justin Hogue is absent. Wes Owen is here. Doug. We have a quorum. Okay. Item 4, consent agenda. All consent agenda items are considered routine by the city council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and voted on separately. Item A, approval of minutes for the regular council meeting June 9th, 2020. Approval of minutes for the special call meeting June 16th, 2020. And that's it.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes for the 2 council meetings.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Item 5. Individual consideration, consider an act regarding financial statements for June 2020. Item B, consider an act regarding June 2020 invoices for payment. And item C, consider an act regarding Economic Development Corporation invoices for payment.
I make a motion that we accept all invoices for payment.
I'll second it.
All right, Christine made a motion, Sandra second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Just so y'all know, the economic development, we got the final invoice on the signs, the city signs, and we paid that. So that's really the only one that
Good.
was outstanding.
Okay,
Okay, item 6, public comments. The city council invites the public to address city council on a matter. Hang on. On any matter except public hearings, comments related to public hearings will be heard when the specific hearing begins. In accordance with the Texas Open Meeting Act, the council is not permitted to take action on or discuss any item not listed on the agenda. The council may, 1, make a statement of fact regarding the item, 2, make a recitation of existing policy, or 3, propose the item be placed on future agenda in accordance with council procedures. There's a 3-minute time limit for each speaker unless the speaker requires the assistance of a translator, in which case the speaker is limited to 6 minutes in accordance with applicable law. Prior to the meeting, persons wishing to address the city council must complete a speaker form and present it to the city secretary prior to the meeting. When called upon, state his or her name, street address for the record, and if speaking for an organization or group, identify the group represented. All remarks are to be addressed to the city council as a whole and not to an individual. The presiding officer shall determine whether or in what manner, if any, response will be provided. We don't have any. Item 7, committee and department reports. Oh crap, I forgot to send one to Corey. Yeah. I forgot Corey.
We can wait.
Do we need Corey?
Probably.
This might take a minute. Did anybody, we don't have anything from the fire department, right?
Mm-mm.
Well, poo. Hang on. Why is this not working? Hang on.
Sounds good.
Okay. Not yet, hang on.
You're earning your keep tonight, Wes.
No kidding. I was gonna skip over him, but the economic development is the next one, so.
Yeah.
That would be me. I don't think we have anything for the court.
Or Joe. Joe has, does he have his? Uh-uh.
Yeah, my report, y'all should have my report.
Come on.
How are you feeling, Joe?
Getting better.
That's
So I ain't
good.
got my voice all the way back, but it's getting there.
It's better than last time.
Yeah. And I don't have a neck brace on.
Yeah.
Go back to the doctor on Monday.
When will you be fully released?
That's what I'll find out Monday.
All right, I think I sent it. Okay. All right, Lone Oak EDC report. Hang on, let me open it.
Does he not have a new police?
Please. Yeah. Turned it in last week.
Come on. Why is it asking me to print it? I don't want to print it. All right. This is what Miss Bishop sent. We had our meeting on July 1st. Chris Bouchard was absent and Kiddo Green has resigned. The balance that we have in the Economic Development Fund currently is $34,819.03. We had the outstanding check of $2,212.50, which pays off the remainder of the city signs. They put the lights up finally, and they actually have a remote control, so we can change those, although I don't know why we would ever need to, but they're up here at City Hall. They were on Doug's desk last week. Kiddo Green has had to resign, and that's on the thing a little bit later, on the agenda a little bit later. He had a project that he took on with his job, so he had to he had to resign. He figured he told me he was going to be flying 6 nights a week, so he didn't think he'd have time. On the trash compactor for the backs of the buildings, we have accepted the bid from 3F Construction, which is Chris Manning. It's for about $16,000. We're currently working on the resolution that will go with that, so we can post that in the paper. Construction should begin probably mid-September, and he hopes to be done by November. It's going to go over between the Lone Oak Grocery and the Cam Dow building. And the intent is to clean up the back. Chris also had a great idea. Chris Manning had a great idea about looking at building a fence. He was going to put together some numbers for cleaning out for the EDC to kind of look at. The Veterans Project, we've got about 120 bricks that have been
Turned in.
submitted for, approved. April Jones, Joe Mejia's mother, is kind of finalizing the list before she submits it. It takes about 6 to 8 weeks. So we're gonna, we should be getting closed out pretty soon. Let's see. We have the budget to talk about, which I don't have the final budget. That was something Chris was going to provide for us. But it's in there. And that's it from the EDC. For Public Works, let me see. Let me read that one real quick.
Well, you've got Diane's too.
Okay. I don't have anything on the grants or on the engineer. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Water reports. I'm just going to read the first page, or look at the first page. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Okay. Miscellaneous maintenance and repairs on the backhoe, the Kubota, the lawnmower, and the 2005 truck. Repaired lift station number 1 and number 6. I was wanting to ask him about that one. 3 water leaks fixed. Moved a water meter outside of a fence. Located lines throughout town. Remove the fire hydrant on Mesa Drive so they could move it down a little bit once they kind of finish some construction over there. Install 5 new meters over there. Road repairs on 12 streets. No issues with trash cans other than the trash truck tearing up the road. 2 sewer stoppages, repaired the discharge line from lift station number 6 and replaced all the pipe within the lift station. And I think lift station number 6 is the one down there at Buffalo Mesa. Water, 58 line locates, 5 new meters and 3 water leaks. That doesn't include the one on Gladys, I don't think, because they just did that one today. Okay. And then there's the details of each of the water work orders if you want to look at those. I don't know anything about the engineer. I don't know anything about grants.
Yeah.
All right, court. Municipal court. Why do I get to do all the talking?
You're lucky.
Uh-oh.
It's like the third one down that you sent.
It doesn't have the amounts deposited. So looks like 25 traffic tickets, traffic violations, total of 78, 10 penal and 13 other. I don't know what that is. Joe, what's other?
He might not have heard you. Joe.
Joe.
No, I heard you. I had it could be penal code. I mean, a non-moving violation
Okay.
or
Okay.
something like that.
So I don't know how much was transferred into the city's into the general fund, but it looks like state fees was $6,300, court cost was $45, fines was $6,000, $263 went into the tech fund and $291 for a total of $17,000. If anybody keeps track of what percentage of that is the city, then that's special events, nothing to update there. We've shut everything down until maybe October. So nothing to update there.
Hang on, I'll be right back.
Police department.
Gently.
Yeah, y'all have. I didn't expect to be on here. My paper's at the office.
What?
But y'all have a copy of it, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a little bit better month, but we had some people taking time off because that was the end of the fiscal year. They had to take time off or they lost it.
Okay.
So I know Des took a couple of days off. Savannah took a little over a week off. And of course, I've been on light duty since my surgery at the end of May. But go back to the doctor Monday and hopefully he releases me back to full duty. Austin took some time off for her daughter's surgery. And they're actually at the hospital again. His daughter started throwing up blood last night, so they had to rush her to the children's over in Plano.
Okay.
They're actually on their way home now. So I'm hoping the best for the little girl. But got Dez did a lot of training last month on our reserves. They're released on their own as far as on the vehicle by themselves, but they, as of right now, they still have to be on. If they come on duty by themselves, they have to be on with another officer that's on duty,
Okay.
so they have backup and so forth.
How long do you expect them to have to do that, Joe?
At least a month. They just, they just didn't get enough calls during their FTO training.
Oh, I got you.
So that way the officer, whoever's on duty, the full time, can back them up on a call for service and let them handle it.
Gotcha.
So, but they did real well. Of course, Jessica Brock's been with us as a reserve for 4 or 5 months now, and the other one's been there a couple, a little over a month or so, but she's got experience from Dallas.
Liking it, Joe?
Ma'am,
You liking it?
am I liking it?
No, is she liking it? Is she
Oh,
liking
yeah.
working on it?
Oh, she wants a full-time spot. She wants to be a small town officer.
Ooh.
Yeah, she's really,
I tell you what, these days I would too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't necessarily want to put it across the internet, but my desire for a big city, and most people don't like that desire anymore.
Any more questions for Joe?
Nope.
All right. Kenny, you want me to read your email you sent me? Just shake your head yes or no.
Yeah, I mean, you can, or I can tell. I mean,
You're driving, you can't talk.
He
Why
does it all
not?
the
I talk-
time.
yeah, I talk to Nikki all the time.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead then. Uh-oh.
Last week we got about 15 properties that were sent letters. We've got a few abatements in the process right now. 513 is cleaned up and done, so we've got that off our plate. We do have the house
now.
over on Gladys. Working on getting it, I guess, tore down. So, and we've got the approval from the owner to have that done. So we don't have to go through courts or anything to do that. So a lot of voluntary stuff, cooperations from the owners.
That's good.
I think that's about what I have on there. Oh, another thing, Wes, and you can talk about the permits thing. I guess the coffee shop kind of give me a hard time because I stopped in there last week and they never pulled any permits. And
Yeah.
told me that it was none of my business.
Right. So I guess it was early last week. I saw somebody up there, so I pulled in to see what they were doing. And there's some young man in there. And I guess I spooked him because he almost immediately told me his name and that he didn't have his electrician license, but he was working on it. He was working for somebody else and doing some odd jobs on the side. And he told me, that this lady's kind of hard to work for sometimes, but whatever.
We were just talking about that, and then it was a day or two after we had our last council meeting.
Yeah.
I saw people over there,
Yeah.
Who is
And
this
so-
we're talking about?
So Kenny went over there and told him that because he said that, it kind of raised a flag. And that's when he got his earful that they,
Who is it, Wes? Who has it? or Kenny, who?
Kyla,
I can't remember. I've got her name written down and her
Caleb
number, but who?
Caleb
Where-
Smith.
Yeah,
Who?
Where's it located?
It's that
right
low,
next. Yeah, right next to the car wash.
It's
Okay.
the old Lala's place.
yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention that the Mexican food place is open again.
Hmm.
And it's
Yep.
good food.
I'm hoping so. I kind of figured it would be.
Yeah, we ate there. Their quesadillas were good.
It's a Tex-Mex with a authentic kind of touch to it.
Okay.
Good people.
So other than that, that's where we're at with the code department.
Hey, I want to elaborate on one thing on the code enforcement. The one on 513, everything got cleaned up like Kenny said. The house has been boarded up, but we have to wait on the auction deal because they haven't paid taxes in 3 years. So
Okay.
the suit will be filed for taxes, so it'll go up on auction. So
Have we filed a lien for what we spent on cleaning it up?
yes,
Okay.
but that if y'all know this as well as I do, if it does go on auction, we lose the lien.
Well, yeah, I know. That's fine.
But that's the chances we take when we have to do this. So
Yeah. That's why I was always asking, what's it going to cost us? Because we're probably not going to get that money back directly. We'll get it back down the road when somebody
somewhere,
does
somehow,
something with it
yes,
and starts paying property taxes on it.
right.
Let's see, planning and zoning. That's you, Sandra.
I know we can't ever get together. Either two are out or three are out. We sent the ordinances that we got from Roy City to everyone. And then I don't know, Aaron, I haven't talked to Aaron, but we were going to have everyone just pick a town and get it, look at theirs. And then we were supposed to get together this next coming week and get it all honed in. It's just
Okay.
been hard with everyone being out and here and there and vacations, and it's hard to get everyone together.
Yeah.
But I think it's on the right track. It's not going to be overnight, but we have some good direction to go into, so that way we don't have to go back and go backwards.
Okay. Any questions on planning and zoning? There's a little bit more for planning and zoning a little further down, so. Okay, old business, item 8, consider and possibly act on amending the zoning ordinance. Any action to take there?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Not yet. Item 9, consider and possibly act regarding approval for manufactured home placement on 203 Eder Street. Did the planning and zoning look at that, Sandra?
We did, and that's the one that we were questioning on the setbacks. I think everything was okay, but then the setbacks weren't when it came to all sides of the place, I think, because if it met it on the curb in the front of the street of College and the
Eder,
Is that
that's the other one. You're
Huh?
thinking of Westbrooks.
yeah.
We're talking about down here on Eder Street.
Oh,
Over
no,
by Christine.
no, because
Okay.
mm-mm.
So we got to send that one to the planning and zoning before the council can accept their recommendation, right?
Yeah, and we should, I was hoping when we got together that we would have, everyone there so that we can't vote it in with people not being there and
Yeah.
can't agree with it.
What is the problem with having to send it to planning and zoning? We never
What do you
have before.
Well, we've been having them, at least the last couple, we've get their recommendation on whether it meets the requirements or not.
And just
No.
in setting the,
Yeah.
make sure that we're all in
We
agreement.
don't have to.
Mm-mm.
What's your thoughts, Christine? You want to
Well, I mean, we've been dragging our feet on this now since last year, actually. I mean,
This
it's
one?
every time, you know, it's been going on and on and on. And the pictures that was sent out, you know, the first bunch he sent out, he was calling it a home, and we determined it was a manufactured home.
Yep, that's right.
So we sent back for more information, and he sent that all in. And so now he has done everything that we've asked for. And so how much longer are we going to put this man off?
Well, I don't have a problem with us doing it, but through city council, we just,
mean-
you know,
The lot is approximately a half-acre lot. And he's got one of those storage containers. Actually, that's not what it is. It's one of those other things.
Right.
But he's got one of those on there. And it's over the far east side of the lot. And he's already put his privacy fence up, you know, around the lot. And he's got plenty of room to put it. I mean, so I don't think we've got a whole lot that we can deny because his
As long as it's,
paperwork, according to what Kathy told me, his paperwork on the mobile home was like it needed to be.
Okay.
yeah, as long as the setbacks are right, I mean,
Well, I look at it like this. If we approve it, as long as the fees are paid, the permits are secured, and the inspections are done.
Yeah.
Because that's the big part is it has to be inspected. You have to buy the permits, and you have to pay your fees, whatever fees it has to be paid on it.
Yeah.
and when we looked at it, there wasn't any problems with what he had set up. It was just a matter of getting things final to,
It's a residential neighborhood, you know, there's nothing,
right. Yeah, there's no problem.
it's got water and sewer available.
It's not
not
gonna
like
stand
this.
out because there's other manufactured housing around it, right?
No, and he's very
Well,
spaced
we-
out.
On that street. I mean, you name it, it's there.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Right.
didn't have a problem with it.
Can I,
Well,
can I
somebody
ask a
make a
question?
motion then.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is he gonna be able to fit it in there with the right footage away from the property lines and the
Yeah.
street? Okay. That's
Yeah.
what,
His map shows he's gonna be 50 foot off the street.
Yeah, he's plenty.
I mean, he's jumped through all the hoops.
cool. That's all I had. That's all I had.
Let's see, it's 100 foot across and the house is 52 feet wide.
That's this the one on Eder?
Yeah.
Okay.
The lot's 100 foot wide and and the house is gonna be 52 foot. So he's got plenty of room on each side.
Yeah, he's got, I mean, it fits, it meets our criteria.
Yes.
I was upset to begin with because he was trying to make us think it was a house.
Right.
It wasn't.
Uh-huh.
So somebody make a motion.
I'll make a motion that we give the owner of 203 Eder Street permission to move in a manufactured home when all the fees, permits, and inspections are done.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Thanks,
Motion
Christine.
carries.
Mhm.
Item 10, discuss and possibly act on a city prosecutor position. There's nothing to discuss with this one either yet. So we'll have to put that one back. Discuss and possibly act on purchasing a flatbed truck for public works. Corey told me last week that he hadn't found, he's been looking at other options and he hadn't found anything that he's interested in as of yet. So we'll let that one slide another month. Discuss and consider an IT information technology person for the city.
Mhm.
I think Bo's one that asked to have this put on there, which was really good because the timing couldn't have been more appropriate.
I tell you, give me 1 second. I left my little piece of paper downstairs. Let me grab it. I'll be right back.
Okay. Pass me notes.
I don't know if he's actually going to run or if he's going to walk down the stairs.
Oh, so for those that haven't been keeping up, we had a positive case in City Hall, positive case of coronavirus. So the city secretary has been working remotely for most of last week and part of this week, and probably through the rest of this week. What we have discovered is that there's a lot of things that Susie, Diane, and Kathy can do from home, but there's quite a few things that they can't, and it's a limitation of the programs that they're using and the access to those programs. So we need an IT person to help set up remote access to some of that stuff. So, Mr. Tuberville, tell us about your IT person you want to hire.
Tell you what, those stairs get longer and longer every year. James Matthews, well, James Bates. He works as an IT professional right now. And
What's his last name?
Bates, Bates.
Okay.
And I do a little work around his place. I help him out and whatnot. And I mentioned to him that we could probably use one. He was open to the idea, and it was great. And he's willing to do it on a, as needed, because he's got a full-time job.
Okay.
So just an as needed, when needed kind of a thing. And he was really happy to, he wants to contribute to the city, he said,
So he lives around here?
He's right next door to me, yeah.
Oh, okay. Where does he work
What
now?
kind of policy is it?
I'm sorry?
What does he charge per hour or job, or how does he charge you?
I mentioned to him that, that'd be up to him and Doug and Wes.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
One thing I'm thinking of, we don't have that item in our budget, but could we do it under contract labor or something of that nature that we've got in the budget?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it wouldn't be much just talking to him. I mean,
Well, we wouldn't
whatever
need
be
it,
worth, sure.
.
He's a single father. I'm sure anything he'd be happy with too. So
I know that Joe has been using the guy from the school for stuff.
I know lately he's been swamped because they.
I was just gonna say, the timing couldn't be worse for him, because if they go to an online school, he's gonna drown before too long.
Mhm.
Right.
But I think
I got a granddaughter position. She's an IT in schools in Tyler. She's had no summer break.
I bet.
Yeah, he had neither. So
we're gonna need to get a hold of somebody here pretty quick to kind of work some of this stuff out, because we're just, we can't operate with nobody in the office. If everybody had gotten tested and Diane or Susie had tested positive, I don't know what we'd be doing now. There'd be a whole lot of stuff that couldn't get done, and a lot of bills not getting paid and stuff like that. And we just be in a world of hurt.
I make a motion that we give Doug and Wes permission to get a contract with this man, whatever you have to do, and sign him up as a contract laborer to take care of our IT if he's interested in it.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Mm-mm.
All in favor? Okay. Consider and possibly act on approval of manufactured home at 212 Olive. Anybody know where 212 Olive is?
I drove by there today.
It's at the very end of it.
Yeah, it's it's right across from the water plant down there. And there's plenty of room. I don't see a problem with it.
Are you getting me a?
Justin, I was talking to Justin today when I voted. And he said the only thing that he's kind of wondering about is there's a water line that runs across there somewhere for the Buffalo Mesa. But they're probably not going to be anywhere near that, so.
Where is it?
Well, that line will be buried pretty deeply anyway.
Probably.
Towards the very end?
It's at, if you know where the water plant is, it's right across the street.
Okay.
Justin, does the people at Buffalo Mesa have a easement across the property for the water line? So you know where it's at?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it where you can deal with it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. No, I see no problem with that then.
I don't either.
It'll look better than the one they're going to be next to.
Look, let me mute.
Going to improve the street?
I think it will. Huge improvements. Kenny moved and now there's going to be a new house down there.
Woo!
Woo! We're on a roll. I make a motion that we allow the Westbrooks to move a manufactured home in at 212 Olive Street according to all fees, permits, and inspections are approved.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Mm-mm.
All in favor? Motion carries.
There you go, guys.
Thank you guys. Can I just say one thing? I did already turn in the application and the $125 fee. So I just want to make sure that that's been,
Okay.
guys.
Yeah. We're not asking for anything that you've already done. It's just what the process is.
Okay.
And I don't really know what the process is. I just know those things have to be done.
And we apologize it's taken so long, but I think this has worked out better for you anyways.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Jessica. Bye, Jessica.
Discuss and possibly.
Now, you better get in a hurry and get it cleaned up or Kenny will be down visiting you.
He's already writing tickets out. I think he's there now.
Oh, look. We're getting there.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Discuss and possibly act to upgrade the sewer plant. I don't have anything to tell you.
What's going on with it?
Well, I know that
Wasn't he talking about one of the machines last time?
the engineer was working on the plan, some proposals and stuff, but I don't have anything. I didn't get anything from Corey to discuss. So I guess we'll have to put that off.
Then one thing that's going to happen is the way that things are growing, if they keep on at this rate, in the future, it's going to have more capacity.
Oh, absolutely. They need to be.
Yeah,
I think it is volume.
So now's the time to start looking at what needs to be done and get started doing it.
Absolutely, especially over there.
So the last winter, not 2020, but 2019, there were several months, I think 5 or 6, where because of the wet winter and spring, the flow going out of the plant was over 75% of the rated capacity.
Yeah.
And there was a couple months where it was 90%, which throws us into, you need to start construction pretty soon. The last that I talked to Corey, that they're kind of looking at grants and financing and all that kind of stuff. What they're hoping to do is probably get rid of the lagoon system and put in, it'll be some kind of an self-contained water treatment plant that just sits on the ground out there, but it's expandable. So whatever the first, however many they tell us we need, whatever the first one is, it would just be a matter of, as we grow, we just add to it.
Like phases or.
Hopefully it'll be a little bit.
Actually, we knocked that idea around several years ago, but nothing ever came of it.
Right. Right. So we'll put that on the agenda for next time. Hopefully Corey can make it. Item 15, discuss and possibly act on having an engineer assess the city's infrastructure and roads for future bond and financing.
Now, is this the same engineer that we have?
I believe so.
Okay.
I know that Corey and Doug talked to someone about Olive Street and doing some improvement on Olive Street. I believe the total was about $38,000, say $40,000 for sake of argument, keep the math simple. But that was grading up the road that's there a little bit and then putting a new surface on it. That wasn't any water line, sewer line. That wasn't widening the road or anything like that. That was just fixing what's there.
Yeah.
That wasn't fixing ditches or any of that.
No, just putting
Yeah, just putting a new top on it. What I talked to Corey about last week is what I would like to look at is, and that's where I think this engineer thing comes in, is what if we took one of the ditches off Olive Street, because there's the ditches on Olive Street, they're pretty big. What if we took one of those and just expanded the road over that 1.5 or 2 foot to make that road a little bit wider? Because I don't know if you've driven down it, but if you're in a full-size truck, you're dodging mailboxes because they put the mailboxes next to the street and it's not very wide. So
yeah, they have to put the mailboxes next to the street because the ditches are so deep.
well, yeah, and the ditches are deep too. So that's going to be something that we want to look at. Bonding and financing is part of that too.
Yeah.
Doug told me, I guess it's been about 2 weeks ago, he would like to get one street done in, the next 1.5 years.
Like completely done.
Like completely done.
Yeah.
Since you're talking about streets, I have a question. What are they going to do about Mill Street where it's already cracking up?
I
Close
wish
it.
Corey was here because he's been talking to the company. We've been talking to the company about that because this big pile of dirt over here where the church was,
Yeah.
apparently they should have put that back in the hole because it's settling and that's why the crack is there.
Well, the thing about it is, when winter gets here, we're going to have the same mess we had before we ever paid for a street.
Yeah. Yeah.
The water get in there, it'll freeze, it'll crack more.
Yeah.
Then you have potholes.
Yep.
Have we already paid for it?
No, we have not.
Good. Good.
No, we have not. They have not submitted for final payment yet.
Good.
So, yeah, They did submit for the water plant part. And I don't think we've done anything with it. I don't think we've done anything with it. I have to go back through the email. So we'll put that on the agenda for next month. Discuss and possibly act on an easement for 1567 and the Lone Oak ISD property. We'll probably push this one off because I want Doug to explain what happened.
Okay.
I think Doug and Corey went to the
Mm-hmm.
school board meeting. Did you go with them, Sandra?
No, they just came up to the planning and zoning when they got done.
Okay. The school board approved. So what Doug wants to do, what Doug and Corey have talked about doing is moving the street, the Hickory Street, over onto the school property instead of trying to leave the roadbed where it is. There's two reasons. One is the roadbed that's there now is only about 8 or 10 feet wide, so it's not really feasible to be a street.
It was
other
good for
one
Model A.
Do what?
It was good for Model A's.
It's good for Model A's. Model A's and honey wagons.
Yeah.
And then when it goes out past the houses, it doesn't go straight out to 1567. It like turns.
Curves.
So it doesn't really work as a street. So they went out to the school to see if we could move the roadbed over, and I believe they asked for 16 feet. Or maybe it was 24. I can't remember. I don't know the number that they were asking for.
And was that for the buses and stuff like that?
That's, yeah, they wanted,
Because they have to be able
they
to
were
get through
asking
there.
for wider street, but
Mhm.
then the school put some provisos on there that I'm not really sure that we want to try to do. They want a concrete road that'll handle over 80,000 pounds.
Yeah, we can't do that.
So it's going to be a huge expense to put that in. So,
Okay, if the school wants that, will they help pay for it?
oh, are you kidding me?
No.
Oh.
Mm-mm.
So, but that's
you-
kind of, and they wanted a pretty short turnaround. They wanted it done in 5 years. So I think Doug wants to revisit it, kind of talk about it some more. But I don't know if that's something we're going to do. So we'll
Table
put that on the agenda for next month.
Okay.
All right. Item 17, discuss and possibly act on developing a comprehensive plan for the city.
Yes.
S. Williams.
We had sent, and I'll email it to council members too, but what we talked to the city manager for Roy City for a couple hours about 2 weeks ago. And Aaron and I, he'd found this, it's like a pamphlet and it's almost like a advertisement for your town. And it's city planning and it's really good. It's professional and it has all the breakdown on what you do in the city, the offices held, and it's almost like how to run a city for dummies kind of book, but it's very attractive and it's very appealing to try to get small businesses to come here and what we're about and what our population is. And, just it's everything that you would need or want to know about the city that you're going to live in. And I thought it was a great idea. And if y'all would like it, Christine and Bo, I'll email it to you and let you look it over. But when we get your IT guy, I want to show him some things on it because it would really be something handy. And that way, if anyone was out, it's almost like a outline, a Bible of what organizations do what, and it would be good to, help fill in if we need to for something. But you're just pretty much promoting yourself and your city and what your plans are. And they had big dreams. They said, we have a 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, year plan. And it was pretty impressive. But it's pretty smart that they're already so far in the future, and preparing for it. So anyways, I just wanted us to look at it and I'm pulling it up right now.
I'm happy for any kind of roadmap. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I'll send it to y'all. So we'll just leave it on the agenda because I sent it to Doug. Wes, you have it, don't you? I sent it to you and
Yeah,
then
I've read
through it.
some of it. I hadn't read through all of it yet.
Yeah, it's big. I mean, but it's just
It's
a
like
good
80 something
idea.
pages.
Yeah. So I'll get it to y'all and see what y'all think, and we'll maybe have a better.
So along
idea
those
of it.
lines, I'm gonna put my EDC hat on for a minute. I'm gonna get hats made that have different titles on them so I can keep track.
I want you to.
I've talked to Doug about having setting up a not really a public hearing, but kind of a public hearing with key individuals who are stakeholders in the growth and development of the town. For example, Justin Ram as the school board president, Lance Campbell as the superintendent of the schools, some property owners like Christine, the DeBoards, Tanya and John Dodmeyer, Jerry McGee, not only as somebody that owns property around town, different properties around town, but also as a developer, J&S Construction, Joe Tamarine, and probably Eddie White. And there's probably a couple more I can think of that we would want to invite to this discussion to talk about what we think Lone Oak can become and where we think it can go. It will be important for at least some of those folks to kind of be on the same page and understand, kind of where we want to go. The school needs to be involved because as the town grows, the school district grows, and they will tell you they're not meeting state requirements on certain aspects of the school. And so they're going to have to spend money to stay up to code, up to requirements. And we need to be in control of that so that we get where we want to be, kind of like Roy City.
Yeah.
Now I have, with that in mind, I have asked members of the Economic Development Board to put together a list of what they think we need to do to the things that we need to do. And Susie Bishop actually gave me some of that. And I've started drafting up a little bit of something that I will submit. Probably when Doug gets back, we'll try to start putting it together and see if we can.
Yeah, let me know. I can help you too.
Okay. All right, so we'll put that on the agenda for August. God, we've got a full agenda for August, and it's discuss and possibly act on amending ordinance 160-2017A. Does anybody know what that's about?
I couldn't pull it up.
No.
Let me go back and hang on.
Who put it on the agenda?
No idea.
I'll just pass it to next. I can't pull it up, but I got to go out on my computer and do it. I can't pull it up on my phone.
And I don't recognize that ordinance.
I looked at it. My printout paper's in the kitchen. I'll go get it in just a second.
All right.
What was that ordinance number again?
160-2017A. I don't have any idea what it was about, so let's move it to August.
Okay.
All right. Item 19, discuss and consider Kiddo Green's resignation from Lone Oak Economic Development Corporation Board.
Do we need to approve it?
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we approve Kiddo Green's resignation from the EDC board.
I second. I hate that.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor? All right. Item 20, discuss and consider Justin Ram appointed to the Lone Oak Economic Development Corporation to replace Kiddo Green. What are you laughing at?
No,
He showed up. That's all I care about. He just needs
That's-
somebody to show up.
That's great. We need it.
Any
Well, I'll make a
discussion?
motion. We accept
I'm-
Justin Ram onto the
I'm-
Economic Development Committee.
All right. Sandra made a motion. Christine seconds. All in favor?
Do y'all realize that Christine and Thelma's the only one saying anything? Or Christine and Sandra?
Thelma.
That's by design, Christine. That's by design.
Bo's asleep. His eyes are closed. And Joe can't sit still. He's making me seasick. He's all over the place.
All right.
My eyes are closed. What are you talking about?
They look like it. There's a glare.
All right. I've got the
I'm still trying to pull up that ordinance up.
I couldn't, I thought I had it. I don't have it.
all right. I sent you guys the proposed budget. Understand it's not the finalized numbers. But I'll explain what we were doing. And I think unfortunately our treasurer has been very busy the last couple weeks with some landscaping work. So until somebody explains it to me differently, the revenue number or income number has to match the expense number at the bottom.
Mhm.
So what we've done is we take the carryover number, and we didn't know what that was going to be when we did this in June for the EDC. But so last year, our budget was $47,763. For this year, the city's budget for the EDC was 28,000. Last year was 25. This year is 28. This fiscal year. So the total right now is $50,763.82. What we don't know was the carryover number, which we think was going to be about 33 or 34,000. So what I had asked Chris to do was, once he had the final number for the income, once we bottomed out the whole carryover number, that we would just adjust the infrastructure and incentive payments in the expense to reflect the change, because I think the change is probably going to be about $10,000.
Now, weren't you supposed to have this budget approved the same time the city's budget was approved?
Yeah.
Okay, you can't add line items. just
No,
like you
we didn't add any line items. We're just moving the numbers around.
And it doesn't make any difference what is going to be paid this year, this fiscal year. Like Chris's job, that has to be figured in your budget. You get an idea of what it's going to run. Then you take your figures that you had at the first of the fiscal year of the EDC.
Yeah.
And you work it there, and you can, if you have more money left than what you spent, then you can move it around and use it somewhere else.
Yeah.
But you can't get everything all worked up and then write a budget for your year.
No, so we haven't really changed the line items. We've just added the monies, moved the monies around between the line items. Does that make sense?
And what I'm saying is, though, it don't make a difference where you add or take away the money. Your what you expect your income to be for this fiscal year. You add that to the amount you had left at the end of the fiscal year,
Right,
and that becomes your budget.
right,
And then you work off of that as to how you spend your money.
right. And that's,
So,
so the number we didn't have was the carryover. How much was
well,
left?
you never will. You just, because you have to anticipate what your carryover is going to be.
Okay,
If it's more, it's okay. If it's less, it's okay.
okay,
But at the time you write your budget, you have to have that number in there.
yeah,
When you write your budget. I mean, I'm just telling you this for future references. You can't wait several months and get your budget worked up to what you expect your expenses to be. If you've done something and it hasn't been paid and you have a bill for it, then you consider that out of last year's
yeah,
budget. But if you're having something done and it hadn't all been paid for, then you have to figure that into the coming year's budget.
okay.
It's just technicalities, all it amounts
Yeah.
to.
Susie says that, ordinance 160-217A, 2017A is alcohol sales.
And how are we supposed to amend it?
We need to look at, I'll go up to the tax office. We look at getting it on the ballot. I think we still have time on the next election to get it to where,
Next election will be May.
yeah, to get it to where
Or
the
is it-
restaurants.
Is it
Yeah.
May or is it general election? Would it be next year's general election?
I think we can get it in May.
Well, though, I don't know whether it's legal to do it in May or not. I think,
Oh, I'll ask,
It's- Yeah,
You
it's a
need to- you need
city
to
election.
find I mean, the state designates when you can have these elections. I think
Yeah.
it's a general election. I
Tell
believe it.
Susie, thank you for reminding me, but I'm gonna go do that so that the restaurants can sell, serve alcohol, and that helps their business too. And that
Yeah.
when we have
But-
events, it won't be a problem.
Doesn't make any difference what the ordinance says. It's what the election, it has to go to election.
Yeah, it has to go to a general
Yeah, I
election.
think it was to remind us to get it going. But I
Yeah,
thought the
you
other,
have-
Yeah.
I thought
You
the
have
other
to get it.
ordinance was the structures.
Because- If something is voted in different than what it is, then you have to have a new ordinance. for it.
Right. I don't know
They
if that's,
voted in first.
You have to get a petition.
yeah, we did it all last time and handed it off to
Right.
Kenny, so it wouldn't look like city council was pushing for a wetland.
And actually, anybody on the council cannot be involved in it and getting it up. It has to
Yeah.
be,
Yeah, I just collect the information.
Kenny,
if you lay it down, they read it, that's fine. If you
That's right.
hand it to them, you're out there campaigning.
I don't feed it to them. I just give it to them.
Mr.
Yeah.
Lovett, you have a question?
Yeah, if I recall, we started campaigning for it in May, and I believe it was the November, the main election.
I think
The
it's
big
general
election.
election has to go.
But you can start campaigning in November for the May election.
Well,
Well,
but
no, you have to get it, you have to go through the state and get all the paperwork approved to have,
Right,
put it on the
right.
ballot. It has to be put on the ballot.
I'll check it. But I think the last time we were gonna do it right after we did get it approved, we were gonna be able to put it on the May one. We just didn't get
Okay,
it done.
what are you trying to get changed with the liquor?
Well, to where you can consume alcohol in, like at restaurants, on
Yeah, okay.
business and events,
Approved to sell it by the drink.
yes,
Yeah, okay.
It's called on premises.
on premise
Yeah,
consumption.
on premises consumption, yeah.
Yeah, that has to be worded very carefully so that way people don't consume inside of convenience stores.
Yeah,
So back to item 21, consider the 2020, 2021 budget for the EDC.
I'll make a motion, we approve the 2021 budget for EDC.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Christine made a motion, Bo seconds, all in favor? Okay,
Got to prove to Sandra I'm still awake.
That's right. We got to make you work. You got to earn it.
all right. Item 22, these are things I asked to have on the agenda. Discuss and consider action to reinstall the fence at the back of the water tower yard. If we recall, when they redid the water tower, they took down the fence so they could get the equipment up there, the curtains and all that, to redo the water tower. I was under the impression that Corey had approval to put that back when the construction was done. It's still not done yet. So what I'm asking is that we have, in the minutes that we have approved them to put that fence back. I think the money, the number that he got when they took it down was $900 to put it back.
Mhm.
Let's say it's $1,000 to put it back. So.
Yeah. And Wes, wasn't it that they were going to maybe consider what type of fence they wanted to do? And like if they wanted a big metal one, but then we just said, just put back whatever cyclone fence, whatever was already there.
Because that fence is part of the security for the water plant.
Yeah.
Right.
Certain size with the barbed wire on the top.
Yeah. But we wanted to make sure that was the right type of fence too.
Because the next line item is a little better.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we have the fence reinstalled that was taken down to refurbish the water tower.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Okay. All right. Item 23 is discuss and consider action to expand the city yard. I was kind of hoping Corey would be here so he could kind of explain how much, how far, what he was planning to do with it. There's two things. One is the north fence is not straight. It's got some turns in it. He was talking about trying to straighten that fence up. Where they put the new fence, where it goes up to the front of the building, is kind of at a different angle than the rest of it. He was talking about maybe trying to straighten that out. He was also talking about moving the fence further back and maybe further south in order to put some of the road materials inside of a fence, because when they have gravel brought in or the cold mix or that kind of stuff, it tends to disappear. So they want to put it under lock and key.
Could we not have them clean up? I looked at today down at the water plant. Could we not have that area cleaned up down there and let them put the materials down there under fence and not have all that uptown where
It's
they're trying to improve? I mean,
that's
we're
possibility.
trying to improve. If we go and put a yard out here, then, we're not improving anything. We're taking
Right.
away from the looks.
Okay.
But there's plenty of room down there for no more than what they have at a time. And I would just go down there and look at it. I mean, they've got stuff that needs to be burnt off and old pipe that needs to be hauled off. And you've
Okay.
already got a fence.
It's already, it's supposed to be locked up.
I know it's supposed to be.
Actually, I think what they get away with down there is the fence around the ground storage and in the buildings being locked. So the gate out there at Olive doesn't have to be locked, but there's no reason it couldn't be.
Well, it could be.
Yeah.
And if you go taking up that space to put sand and rock and gravel in, where are you going to put a playground?
Right. You're going to have
Yeah,
a
it'll clean
playground
it
next
up.
to a city yard. Yeah.
Why would we want to take property that has been given to the city to store stuff on downtown in the middle of everything and not have a playground.
Well, you know,
That's my soapbox.
when they start doing all that compact stuff, we'll be cleaning that stuff up around and we'll just get it all tidied up and moved. Just move it all out of the way and not. So.
And actually, if you want to improve the soil or the rock and stuff around the pavilion, if you're coal mix and anything but rock that you have delivered, have them to put it out there, and then when they don't use it all, it can be spread out around there, and you've got that fixed.
Yeah.
A little at a time, at least.
So can you make a motion to not do anything?
I make a motion that we look into other aspects of where to store road mix. Any kind of sand, gravel, anything we use on the streets.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Okay. Motion carries.
But we can also
right.
share with them what we want them to do, you know, to help clean it up.
Well, I forgot about that yard being down there. But kind of going back, so one of the things holding up the Veterans Monument over here is getting the concrete up. One of the things holding that up was what to do with it once we picked it up.
Okay, if you would go on Facebook and let people know that this concrete is going to be available, somebody that's got washers on their property will want it and you go deliver it to them.
Well, it's funny you say that, because so over there across from Chris Moore's shop, there's a pickup sitting in the middle of that field behind the library, right?
Yeah, been there for 40 years.
So for as long as I've been around, I've been told that because when I moved here, there were two. They were kind of angled at each other. I've been told that that one is sitting there because there's a cistern under it. Well, I talked to the man that owns the property. He said, no, there's no hole under there. It's just sitting there because he gave it to his son, and his son's never done anything with it. But he's got a property over here on College Street that's got a well on it. And if I go talk to them, I can dump whatever I want to down in that well.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one down here on Main Street too. So yes, there are places, and I've talked to Corey. Apparently there's some concrete down there at the water plant that we can also dump down there. We don't want to dump the trees and stuff because it would fill the hole up, but as soon as it all rotted, it would settle out anyway.
Yeah.
So
Well, from the looks of what's down there now, with trees and all, it has rotted down a lot from what it was last time I was down that way. And the fire department could do a controlled burn on it.
Yeah.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Discuss and consider action to relocate the water meter located on the car wash property to a new location so that the parking area of the car wash can be expanded in the back. All right. So what this is, the person who used to own the car wash in that building where the coffee shop's going to be, was a beauty shop and has been to several things. The person who originally owned all that, it was one property. So then they divided it into the car wash and then the insurance office at one point. It was a video store at one point and beauty shop, and now it's going to be a coffee shop eventually, I think. The water meter is on the northeast corner of the property behind the car wash. Kiddo wants to take that and pave that entire area back there and move the vacuum cleaners and stuff to the back, and hopefully give a little bit more room in the front to get in and out, bigger, trailers and stuff like that to get in and out. But he can't do that with that water meter there. So we have told the lady who owns the coffee shop that that he told her she had to pay to move it. Corey told her she had to pay to move it. The actuality is that they don't, she doesn't have to pay for a new water tap. What we have to do is relocate it to a new spot, but then she has to rerun from the meter back to the building. So she'll have to pay for that.
Well, my thought on the whole thing, if Kiddo wants it done to benefit him, then he needs to be the one paying for all this. He's the one that has the problem with it. He's the one that's going to benefit from it. So why should somebody else have to pay for it?
The only thing,
Is this the first time that property's actually been
And
divided?
where is the city's water line back there?
that is part of the issue. I think the water line is pretty far down on, I think that's Cedar Street. That runs around there by Larry Osmer's.
Mhm.
Okay, so
I think there's something weird about it.
this meter is on a private line. It's not on the city's line.
No, it's gotta
It's on the
be.
city's, it's on the city. There's a water line that runs down between there's a water line that runs down between the car wash and Larry Osborne's.
Yeah.
It goes back that way. But there's no place to tie into it and then run it back over to her.
Well, where is the meter for the coffee shop? Beauty
It's-
shop. Well,
It's in his parking lot. It's
both
on that
of them-
northeast. Yeah,
Both of them's in his parking lot.
both of them's in his parking lot.
Okay. And so there's a water line that runs then for her business from her meter across behind or somewhere across his property.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna have to help get that figured out. You know, maybe Corey can go, because like, I
It's not
think all of that
finished.
was,
It's not
No.
it's not the city's problem.
no,
It's the-
we just need to
it's
make
the
sure it's
property.
done the right way. You know, because I don't think it was ever, I remember it back before,
Where does the little house that's just up there where Cedar makes the curve and the little
Yeah.
house that's on the left there, where does their water line come in?
I think it comes in from the Cedar Street side.
that's why
Okay.
we wanted Corey involved. He can,
So that line comes in there.
Yeah.
And then her water line and Kiddo's water line comes in between Larry and Kiddo.
Yeah.
And
So
then her,
basically what it comes down to is if we're going to move the meter probably 75 or 100 feet, because it'll move off of Kiddo's and it's probably going to end up moving to the southeast corner of her lot.
Mhm.
And that's, you know, it's probably going to be some expense. Now, what we've kind of talked about a little bit is that if she was nicer to some of the people on the EDC, Kenny, you know, the EDC were probably willing to help her out with some of the cost of relocating that water line. Because, so what I told, where this all got started was Kiddo wants to move the meter. He told her she needed to move it. She doesn't
well,
want to pay for it.
tell her she needs to do anything.
Well, right. So I told Corey, just go over and take the meter out so he can pave the parking lot. If
Right.
she's got to pay for a new meter,
she'd have to get one anyways,
you have to get one anyway. We'll just do that.
and it
Well,
needs to
then
be
he
off his
said-
property anyways.
Then Corey said, well, if we take that meter out, we still have to provide her with service.
Yeah, you do.
So basically what it comes down to is to allow Kiddo to pave his parking lot, we need to move that meter over. But then she's got to redo the, you know, somebody's got to pay to have that water line redone.
Okay. The water line runs from Kiddo, the north side of Kiddo's property, across his property to her property.
Yes,
And the meter is over here on Kiddo's property.
yes,
Okay. So the line is going to still be under there when you take that meter up.
yeah,
The water line goes to her property, it's going to still be there. So why would you have to move a water line? Why couldn't you just take that meter from where it's at now, move it over to where the water line is to her property and put it on her property?
Well, I think that's what the end result was
Ah.
gonna be, wasn't it? That's what
I
Corey
mean,
was.
she's already got service. All you're doing is moving a meter.
So move the meter away from the water line and put it between, somewhere in the line between between the building and where the tap
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Ah. See, that's why we have these meetings, so smart people can tell us what to do.
I mean, you've already got a water line. You may
Yeah,
have to replace, you may have to replace some pipe. It may be rusted or whatever, but you've got a water line.
I think the argument we're gonna get from Corey and Josh is the line from the meter back to the main is gonna be ours, and it'll be under a parking lot.
Mhm.
Well, it's gonna be under a parking lot anyway.
They're all under.
Well, yeah, because she's gonna pave the back of that building to put in a drive-through, so yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, you know,
Can I say something?
We could potentially change
could-
that line out from the
I tell you
tap
what
to
you
the
could-
meter.
I
And
tell you
then-
what you can do. You get an easement. If kiddo wants to move it, get an easement where the line goes and get an easement from both property owners, put the line where it needs to go now and not go rerouting water lines all over the country.
Can I say something, Wes?
Yeah.
I think what's happened here is kiddos, he's not wanting to pay for the water meter to be relocated. And the lady that owns a coffee shop, she thinks it's kiddo's responsibility. Kiddo thinks it's her. Here's the problem that we have is two different properties. That water meter, I think, should be relocated by the city.
Yeah.
But it's up to her. It's going to be her responsibility to run the water lines, to, reroute the water lines. But it does need to be separated just in case kiddo sells the car wash or she sells her business. At least the water meters are separated on each property, on their own property.
Well, we are obligated to furnish water to the property.
Mhm.
So as far as the line's concerned, that's our problem until it gets to her property. When
Right.
it gets to her property, then it's her problem.
Yeah. I think it's just trying to separate the properties with their own water meter instead of both water meters being on one
Well,
property.
They have been at each other's throats ever since they got together over there. So it's nitpicking everything you do.
Right.
But we already have a water line there. The line's there.
It's just
So-
moving the meter further down the line closer to
Move the meter further down the line
Okay.
and be done with it.
Okay.
Then if they have trouble with their line, they can replace their line.
That's right.
I think
And-
that works.
And all you'd have to do is just go over there and meet it. And what difference does it make what Josh and Corey says? It can be done.
Well, they'll complain, but what's new?
Yeah. It's just a matter of going over there and doing it. And she has to be responsible for her meter. He has to be responsible for his. If the meters are broken, moving them, that's their problem, not ours. But you don't tell our city workers that.
Right.
Pardon me.
Do we need a motion for this?
I don't think so. Just tell them to
Okay.
get it done.
If you need a motion, I don't mind making a motion. I've done it all night. Except for one exception.
That's why you're here for us, Christine.
I make a motion that we, out at, what's the address?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, at the car wash, the meter that belongs to the property that the coffee shop will be located on, that we move that meter from the property it's on now to the property that belongs to the people who have the business there. And might look up these addresses and put it in there so you have what's supposed to be there. And let Kiddo do what he wants to with his property and her do what she wants to with her property.
Okay,
You've got another situation that I know personally about up by, if it ever comes up, the property between the Klosses and Wayne's shop there,
mhm,
the water meter there that looks like it belongs to that piece of property belongs to the Klosses' house. And the water up on the property line, the water meter on the property line belongs to that vacant piece of property.
But do we need to second that first motion?
yes.
I think, yeah, I'm sorry.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Okay,
That's just future reference.
Yeah.
okay. Well, there's things that need to be done all over town like that.
Oh, yeah.
Where meters and cleanouts are not in the right places. All right, not last thing, but almost last thing. All right, discuss and possibly act on ordinance 175-2020, adopting the International Property Maintenance Code 2018 edition.
I thought we did that last,
Didn't we do that
City
last
Council.
month?
We did that last time.
yes.
We did.
We've done it sometime or
It
other.
just didn't get taken off maybe, but we voted it in last session.
Is this we
For Susie.
adopted it. This is the ordinance to go with the adoption of the
oh.
book.
The adoption, okay.
Okay,
I make a motion that we accept ordinance 175-220 and International Property Code.
Go ahead. I'll second.
all in favor?
No, force it out of you, Bo.
All right.
That's good because we've been enforcing it.
I'm glad it's legal now.
You're gonna have to post date all those letters now.
And it'll help you. It'll be a lot easier.
All right, I'm not sure how to do this, so we're just gonna wing it.
I can text Joe when we're ready to go back or something.
Oh yeah, we gotta get rid of Kenny and Joe, don't we?
Yeah, we got to get rid of Kenny and Joe. Bye. You got to get off live YouTube.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. Hang on.